Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft. We're here in our base, a very familiar and unfinished site. I know, we really need to make progress, and we're going to do a little bit of building on this area in this episode. However, it's going to be a very adventure-orientated episode. Got some plans, but first of all, things to show you. And I do just want to say, if you can hear the rain splashing against my window, it's very stormy outside. And it's kind of brought my mood down a little bit. It's been raining, it's been cold and miserable, and I haven't been able to get FoolCraft to load up. It's been crashing on me. I thought I wasn't going to play any Minecraft today, but alas, here we are. Eventually it loaded up, and I tell you what, I'm excited. But check it out, over here on this side, one of our cloned walls. It's been detailed. I've done the chisel and bits, and boy oh boy does this look fine, right? There's still more to be done on this wall. We've got to fill in these gaps down the bottom, fill up gaps like this, and I'll tell you what, the one on the other side has an even bigger gap down below to fill up. It's going to look interesting once all of that gets filled in. But these two things, think about it, they're kind of identical, right? Because they're clones of that wall on the side there. Well, I've actually gone around and just swapped out some of these textures here and there and moved around the mossies and the cracked and hopefully given it a bit more of a natural feel. Although I don't think you'll ever really notice because you're only going to look at one wall at a time. Another thing we desperately need to change though are the leaves. They're in identical positions, but we're not here to waffle on about that. Oh no, we're going to drop down below and I'm going to show you a couple of things that we've been up to before we go on an adventure. And there is the rain being ever so loud against my window. So if we go down to the woot farm, you may remember that we ran into some problems, couldn't quite get our system to work, and it's now working as intended. The solution is pretty cool. If we jump up to the top here, what we're now doing is we're automatically sending the items that come up from down below, the ones that we're finished using, and putting them into these droppers. So let's say we're done doing our snow golems, it'll automatically make its way back up to this point. So then when we send a signal from our selector, it's going to basically pass that redstone signal through and power the dropper, which is going to put the item into a chest. I'm not going to open it because it's a trap chest and that will actually activate the circuit. And then down below there's some conduits that are automatically going to move it downwards. And that system has been tested. It works really well. I'm very happy with it. And currently we have been farming withers. That's what's in there at the moment, right? Yes, that's true, and it's been running around the clock, bringing us loads and loads of goodies, including loot bags, which is what I'm going to show you next, because I've been a little bit of a derp, as I usually am, right? We spent a lot of time last time trying to get that woot farm to work with villagers, realizing they don't actually drop emeralds, that's a tinker's thing, and then many of you pointed out to me that it was actually like the episode before I talked about farming emeralds. BOO's loot bag, let's snag one of these, you get 10 emerald blocks from it. Now, if you just look at the amount of bags we've got stored up here, you can do the math, can't you? I think you can do the math. And how are we doing on the pets? Wow, so many of them here. Hey, that's a new one. A slime pet. Very cool. I can't wait to go through all of those. We're still not ready to do that yet. Anyway, distractions aside, around the back here I've set up a little BOO loot bag opener, and that's how we're farming our emeralds. So now we have emeralds for days, weeks, months and years. Look at that. That's absolutely amazing. Hi, if I could spell, that would be even more impressive. There we go. 27,000 emerald blocks. That is absolutely bonkers. But anyway, it's time for us to go on an adventure. I've picked out a dungeon location, kind of like the one that we saw before, right? Early on in the series. Remember, we've got loads of those spawners. I can actually show you them right here. Well, or maybe not if I type in the right thing. There they are. Well, the one we're going to go and visit today has actually been generated with the proper loot chests, as we only got vanilla loot chests, so I was kind of interested in investigating it, and so I've prepared. I've got myself some new obsidian armor, I've repaired my sword, stocked up with some food. I should probably bring some golden apples, just in case I get into a bit of a bad situation or something. And wow, look at that. We're approaching 1,000 of those. Amazing. I just found a very interesting site. There's some invisible blocks there. Let's activate this waste stone. This is BOO's and Iscal's arena that they're working on. As I was flying through the sky to our location, which I didn't put a waste stone at, that was a little bit silly. Yeah, I just see this thing. Caught it out the corner of my eye because it was very high up in the sky. This is cool. I like this. I can't wait for it to be finished. And I thought I'd just show you it quickly. Also, what is that over there? Is that one of those dungeons? If it is, this one's probably definitely been explored. Yep, this is the type of dungeon that we're going to go looking for, but someone else has clearly already ransacked this one. So finally we arrive at our destination, and I gotta tell you something. My adventuring mojo has been completely thrown off. Look at that gorgeous build in the background there. There's a very interesting village nearby here. It's like a waterside village. So it's actually been a couple of hours since we last recorded together. And that's because me traveling caused some weirdness on the server and there were some crashes and... Oh, today has been one of those days. In between recording FoolCraft, I've been trying to do odds and sods, and everything is going wrong. I've been watching the hours tick by, trying to fix problems on my computer, trying to do stuff on my second computer, my music computer. It's been awful. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I like to be a productive person. And when things aren't productive and things aren't working, I start to feel pretty bad and rotten. And I've been in a rotten mood. But a smile is back on my face because we get to have fun together again doing an adventure down here in this dungeon. So I'm hoping that all goes well because otherwise I'm going to be pretty upset. Now, if we just pay attention to what's going on here, this is like the one that Rendog found. The living rock brick and the living wood stairs. And, ooh, glimmering living wood as well. Yeah, so this is made out of materials from Botania. These are very easy to farm blocks, I believe, if I remember correctly. And straight away, we found our way down to the second level. Now, obviously, these mobs aren't really going to do too much damage to me. What I'm here to see this time is just these chests and find out what goodies we can get. Ooh, pusher. No, that's actually not that great. Fake blocks, we got loads of those. There's probably not going to be a lot here because it's going to be similar to what you get in loot bags. Right, and I already got loads of this stuff. I'm very curious, though, to know what's in this area. Now, I made a waystone to get over here, by the way, so it's going to be nice and easy to get back. We are about 5,000 blocks away. It was a very long journey to get here, and I had to wait a long time for the server to come back up, but luckily the admins are on the case, being wonderful people and fixing this for us so we can continue our adventures. Now that I'm here, I've got a... Ooh, exotic ebony wood. Are you part of the ebony wood as well? I would like an ebony sapling. That's what I would... And straight to the third level. Well, I'm enjoying that there's different textures here. That's certainly interesting to check out. But I'm starting to think that there's probably not really going to be anything for us here, right? The riveted chassis of defense. Okay, fair enough. If ever I need some ebony wood, we know we can come back here. I reckon this is going to be a quick trip around this dungeon. There ain't going to be too much for us here, I reckon. This stuff is made out of seared bricks, though. If ever we decide to do a Tinker's project, I could come over here and grab some blocks. But to be fair, with the state we're in, we've probably got everything we need back at base to make that stuff easy. Hi, you are not a regular zombie. You are a slightly obscure-looking zombie. And let's check out your body parts on the ground. Yeah, that was definitely a different type of zombie. Maybe there are different mobs and maybe therefore different mob spawners. That would be pretty cool. You know, what we can do though, obviously, is pretty much farm every mob through that woot farm thing. A chance cube, I'll take that. A rare loot bag. I mean, we farm all of this stuff. I got a feeling, I've said it too many times, haven't I, that we ain't going to find too much here. Maybe on some of the lower floors there'll be some good loot. Anyway, let's wreck these guys and try and find ourselves the next level. Well, this area down here looks fascinating. This is where the harder mobs are. We've got to be careful in this area, that's for sure. This has reminded me, though, that I brought a little item with me to do an experiment. It's going to be very hard to do that experiment while these guys are kicking my butt. And I've been withered, which is no good. Also, check out these purple blocks. They look fantastic, don't they? I believe we still have most of our hearts. Let's continue eating. So, I brought with me a mega torch. I thought this would be a very interesting experiment to conduct, as that will stop mob spawning. Will it stop them spawning from those spawners, though? I don't know. And we've kind of activated a load in this area, and now I'm being ambushed, it would seem. So when it comes to gathering blocks from this area, these ones right here are from Botania, and they're ones that I don't know how to craft or make, and I'm not very good with Botania. So it'd be a good idea to collect some of those and take them home with us, I reckon. Cool, there are scary noises in my ear, and also some more interesting looking blocks down here. Check out this shade of green. That is pretty awesome, I gotta say. And no, it doesn't feel like that torch that we put up there is stopping the mob spawning. But I got another trick up my sleeve, and I think we're going to have to play things a little bit crazy from now on. So I've got this to send items back to our main storage. As you can see, my inventory here just filling up so ever so quickly. And the other trick that I've got up my sleeve, or actually in my bag, is the ocelot pet. So we can chuck this thing in my inventory, grab that, and now we have night vision. So the lights, or sorry, the torches will prevent the spawners from spawning, but we can fly around here and check it out in its full glory. There is a wither witch. She is now dead. And we can see in this area, hello googly-eyed, wow, there's like purple liquid instead of water as well. These are fantastic. I just got to say it, these levels are fantastic. Is the loot getting any better? Doesn't really look like it. Does this lead down to the next level? I don't think so. It goes down to bedrock though. Anyway, you know what's coming up next, don't you? We're going to use our vein miner here, bam, to get ourselves loads of these blocks because they look seriously cool and I want to use them in a build at some point. Clearly I've angered the locals here. Look at how many of them there are. Silly little derps. Such a strange sight, isn't it? And that's the wrong bag. I need to put them in the other bag. We're sending all these blocks back to our base. Got loads of the green ones, got loads of these purple ones, probably more than enough now. And I want to keep exploring and see if there's any other cool materials. I noticed these ones over here. Turns out though this stuff is just nether bricks, but those are some nice textures that you could use together. We'll have to revisit that in a build in the future. They're actually really cool textures and they work well together, don't they? So there's a ravine. That's the end of that direction, I guess. Let's see if there's another floor to this thing. We might have found it down here. In fact, that netherrack looks like it might be the theme for the next area. Let's vein mine some of it then. Bam. Yes, looks like we found the next floor. Aha, there is something. Oh, goodness me, that's good. Wow, a manual chicken egg. Okay, there is definitely a reason to come down to this bottom floor then. And I've got to be careful with my health here. We're not down to 1 heart, don't worry. We've got 2 layers of hearts, remember. And these guys, they are making some serious noise. I haven't been lighting anything up at all. I've just been flying around and it gets pretty hairy in here. It does, it does. But I haven't found a lot of chests on this level. That's actually the first one. So now we've got a reason to explore the rest of this place, I guess. So I found a few more rooms with chests in, and from the level above, I got this thing right here, Nickerson, and it's the secret of life. I mean, I don't know if I got that pet already, but that seems kind of rare if you ask me. And look at this, blaze rod chickens. Manual chicken again, wow. I was thinking, now that we farm loads of materials through loot bags, it would be fun to actually get all of the different chickens, and this would be a way to do that, to get through the tech tree a little bit quicker. So we got that one there. Got one in this room. Look, more of them. Platinum. We got bloods, nether quartz, cobalt. We can farm all of the things with these eggs. Very fine. Very fine, as Mr. Beadler would say. Then I believe over here we've got another one as well. Let's see. Yep, more eggs. Wow, that is seriously some awesome loot right there. I'm going to explore this place for a little bit longer. I might even pick up some of this obsidian. There's quite a lot of it about. Get out of it, you. The floor is just nether bricks, though, so probably not really worth harvesting up that stuff. You can see I'm making a complete mess out of this place, though. And that way is a dead end, which means the next place to explore is that way, which I've also blocked off. Wow, that was kind of very cool. There's also a ton of spawners in here. I'm going to break them all. And we found a chest. In fact, let's open that chest, because these mobs don't seem to be attacking me just yet. Enderman pet, sweet. Lava is my favourite weapon. This sword's okay, but there's a lot of those guys to hit, right? They make so much noise. Oh, a lava bucket, yep, very useful. I think this room is actually going to be our last room. It's kind of the jackpot, because there are 8 different chests in there. Look at all those ingots. We're basically here for the chickens, aren't we? There's a few more. I'm not even looking at what they are anymore. I'm just going to grab ghast tier chickens. Sweet. That's pretty cool. I did want to make a ghast farm at some point. I think I like doing things the traditional way a little bit, so maybe after we've made a ghast farm, then I'll put the chicken to use, you know what I mean? But this is seriously cool stuff. So the adventure's over, and I just had a mini heart attack. I thought, oh, let's go look at all the eggs that we collected, and no, there's none there. But actually, these are different types of eggs. But wait, they're still not there. What you got to do is type in chicken, because they just are the name of the type of chicken that they are. Very cool. We got a chicken pet as well. Very cute and adorable. So they're safe and sound, and now we're going to work on a little bit of base building, aren't we? But I've got a magic trick to show you first of all. Yes, I do. So pay attention here. Okay, I'm going to whack this block, and it's going to magically transform into a different type of block. Now, when we undo it, it goes back to the one it was before. So yeah, I noticed that I missed the chisel and bitsing on the top of this, just up here, and some of those were mossy blocks, and when I whacked them, I noticed they changed to the other type. So a little bit of a bug there, but anyway, what we're going to do right now is focus on the structure that's going to be in the corner. And last episode, when I recorded and talked about what was going on over there, I had some troubles lining up the bottom. Well, it turns out if you just focus on this floor right here, you can actually, mark everything out perfectly, and it will go around and keep the design wrapping around the whole of the top floor, which is very cool. It's very fine, but I didn't really want to just copy exactly what we've got going on here all the way around. I do want these corners to look a bit bulkier and a bit different from the main design. So we're going to keep like the top space going on, and then the bottom space will do something different. Now I thought I'd look up some of these blocks from Railcraft, but the first one I looked at, the Infernal Brick, is actually the one I'd like to use, and we can craft this stuff out of easily farmable resources. So I made a few of these, and I was thinking what we need to do now is just introduce a new block here so that these corners can be a little bit more distinguished. Now this is kind of a nice mix between that and something a little bit purpley, I think, and it comes in a few different textures as well. So I reckon that's going to fit into our palette just wonderfully, and it will keep this little design that we got going on here at the top level. What I got to figure out is how that's going to look on the bottom level. There's not a lot of space here, like for a room or something to go in here. Well, actually, if we built the walls out of chisel and bits and just had some skinny blocks along the outside, probably a fair amount of space. But let's see this thing from the outside. I'm really liking the shape of this right here, okay? Now you're probably thinking it's not that great, but the thing is, we're building this without putting in the detail yet, right? We're not doing all of the chisel and bits and stairs because we can't copy those blocks. So we're doing it like this, and then we're going to come and put the detail in later on. So the top bit should be pretty obvious, as it's going to be the same as that over there. And then these bottom bits down here, I think we're actually going to throw in a lot of chisel and bits and a lot of shape into this to make it look really cool. Now I am umming and ahhing about the choice of materials here. I kind of think maybe I should have extended this material around because it's kind of dark. So you have this sort of dark, then light, and then we're going to reintroduce that texture up the top here. So somewhere around here there is going to be a walkway that you can actually physically come out and walk onto. So that'll probably be where these blocks are here, and then a new structure will rise up against it. So our final tower, the small one, is going to end up being pretty skinny. I like the way it lines up with those points there. Makes it kind of easy to pop over here and just quickly put it in the right position. So what we'll probably end up doing is, again, like indenting this material, so it's going to come backwards a little bit, and there'll probably be another pillar in there as well, like one in the middle, and then that gets built up again. And then I think that's actually got to be a lot taller than what we had originally planned to do, and that will kind of be the whole thing. But I'm going to rip out those blocks that I just placed. You finally see X actually doing some building on camera, and then he goes and rips it out. And the reason why is because we're going to have to copy this. Yes, we are. We're going to have to copy it. I'm just making sure that I'm not vein mining any of these blocks. I thought I almost did that earlier. Bam, got to make sure they're not connected. So yeah, we're going to copy this entire thing and now paste it into each corner, which means I've got to do a lot of resource prepping. And an important thing to point out here is we haven't used too many textures. I've deliberately left this all as chiseled stone. So what we will go around and do is change those blocks once they've been copied to the other corners. And that means that we've got to copy it 3 more times. And also, I think the corner is going to sort of intersect this part of the room by a few blocks. So I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem. There's blocks missing in the ceiling here. It should come to about here, and there's nothing in this corner, so that's fine. And I think when we copy and paste this stuff, it's not then going to go and replace something that's already here. So it's not really a problem in any of these except this one over here. Yeah, there's ender chests, so if there is a problem, it'll probably affect that one. All of these blocks have been neatly placed, and now that I'm a master using this copy and paste technique, I've put this in, had to move this over by 1 block, rotate it, and you can just tell by flying around like this is in the right position. On closer inspection, it also is. I got a big old smile on my face right now because I'm getting pretty pro at using this builder, I tell ya. No problem at all to place these down and build them all. Yeah, very easy, very smooth sailing. And I've just learned something. Bam, there go the last few blocks. Yeah, there was a block missing, just somewhere around here. I noticed it when I built that one. I filled it in there, there, and here. And then when I placed the block over on this side, I think it was that one there, I sort of thought, oh, I wonder if this means whatever's in this space will now be updated. Because when we linked our card, we set it to channel 5. And that thing is called channel 5 there. So it's kind of like it's transmitting the data across. And if we change what's on the inside there, apparently it will just change it over here as well. So that's really cool. And that probably means that I could change something, then I could flick the lever and activate it again. I really hope this doesn't go wrong. Let's just put an extra block. Do you know what? We won't see it if we put it all the way up there. If we put it down the bottom somewhere, like bam, we should see it in a second. So I'm going to go activate this thing, just out of curiosity. Please don't destroy anything. It should be identical. So now it's doing the job again. Let's go on the inside and see if it places the stone bricks. Nothing yet, but there's... Hey, there it goes. Bam. So we learnt that. There's another thing I need to check. Aha, you are still intact. Okay, very fine. So it doesn't remove stuff from the channel, which is an important thing, but it will add things. And boy, oh boy, hang on a second. Let's take a step back and marvel at the view. Now, from further back, you get away with having less detail. And I gotta say, looking spectacular. I might make a couple of modifications, like the inside there I think should actually be that brown stuff. But that's just looking sweet. And this thing's got to get a lot taller now as well, I reckon. Yeah, this is just the beginning. And I've got to say, we're off to a fantastic start. I feel like doing something drastic now. As a sort of strange celebration. What we've got going on here, this little demo has been here for a while. I do really like this. This is a cool idea. But I feel like where we've rebuilt the outside, we're going to go in a different direction. So it's time to say goodbye to all of this stuff right here. It was a very cool idea, but I think we're going to go in a different direction. And this thing has just sort of been sitting here in the way for a while now, kind of looking a little bit unprofessional, if you know what I mean. And with that out of the way, I look into this space and I see more possibilities. I got ideas galore, and one of them is a bit of a strange idea to perhaps kill a particular mob that we want to farm and kill it sort of in view of us. This stuff right here, the dimensional shard, it requires a few things. We are not yet to be farming quartz or even automating glass. I think everything else is farmed, and then there's prismarine shards, right? So I was thinking, oh, let's jump on woot, but I don't think I want to jump on woot the same way I don't want to do everything with the chickens until we farm them through alternative means. So at this point in the game, when things are easy to get when we need them, let's farm them traditionally in a creative way. So over here I prepped up some of these mob prisms. What we're going to do is take a trip out to a guardian temple. We can get ourselves a guardian and also an elder guardian as well. And I figured maybe it'd be fun to kill the guardians around us. So when we design the rooms in this area, we could have some sort of open tubes or something. Let's not get too into this because I'm getting ahead of myself. But imagine that there's some corridors kind of like this, and we've got these pillars. And instead of them being solid, there's actually glass here. And then there's water on the inside, and guardians are dropping down, and then they're being destroyed, and we're collecting their drops. I don't know. Sounded kind of interesting to me. But you've guessed, well, I've said what we're going to do. We're going to take a trip out to an ocean monument, and we're going to gather ourselves an elder guardian as well as a guardian for the meantime. The elder guardian, though, will of course drop sponge. So that means we're going to be making a sponge farm with woot, in a way, which is something, I guess. There it is, people, the mysterious ocean monument. And I've got a feeling, as much as I've prepared myself here, I might not have thought about everything, because we're going to be going underwater, and I'm very used to having flight. One thing we will need is some night vision, and you may notice that there are these balls under the ground. In fact, I'm going to keep away from the ocean monument over there. Do I see some guardians spawning in? I see some squid. We tried to build a squid farm, and that failed. Maybe we can use woot for that. But we're going to go under here. And wow, it gets dark. I guess the night vision doesn't work underwater? Huh. That's problematic. I want to mine this stuff, and you can tell that I'm holding down vein miner button as well. I couldn't mine this stuff last time I found it, and I wanted to see if there was a secret. But it doesn't look like there's anything else there. And now I've filled up my inventory with abyssal stone, which is actually another option for us. if we craft it into the different types with our fortress, I think. Anyway, let's grab the export bag and send all of this stuff back to our storage. This should be okay if we're very quick. We're not quick enough now. I've got a drink. And then we've got to break a block. And another one. And another one. And then we're down inside of this thing near one of the Elder Guardians, I hope. And that should be it done, pretty much. Oh, I can't move very fast. I don't have Depth Strider. You have been captured. You have been... It's got googly eye! Okay, hang on. I know we're drowning. Quick, use a torch. Oh, that guy had a googly eye as well. The googly eyes are everywhere. Where did he go? Oh, you are too much. You're too much, I tell ya. Oh, well, I know we haven't been here for very long, but that's kind of the point. Like, that's all we needed to do was slap them. And now we can farm them infinitely. Right, let's see if I can get out of here in one piece. And you know what? I could have just exited while I was inside of there. It's funny how old vanilla habit's going to stick with you. So we are successfully farming sponge, and we're also farming prismarine as well. There it is, slowly ticking up, and that is just from the Elder Guardian, which is actually a tier 1 mob, can you believe it? So if I hover over this thing, it might say... Oh, now it says requires tier 2. Interesting, I could have swore it said tier 1 before. This thing is a tier 3, so we get the same drops, but it doesn't require as much. Anyway, there are some upgrades that we haven't installed, and I've upgraded our power system for this. Currently, the farm is running at, was it 880 RF per tick? So we're going to install the rate, which, yes, increases the speed at which it spawns them at. So let's put in the first upgrade, then the second upgrade, and I just want to check that again. Every 40 ticks, so that's every 2 seconds. Now what we're going to do is go and see how much that has changed the power consumption. Look, I can only see the top ones, not the bottom ones. So down to the bottom we go. And we walk into our room. There's actually something under there I want to show you as well. So it's this one here, Woot. Wow, we just jumped up to 8,000 using that. That is way too much. Okay, good to know though. Also, I need to adjust that screen. I was messing around with the different things back here because the change that I've made is to use another one of these advanced power cells from here to over there. And that means that the bandwidth is a lot larger, which might be a bad thing because check this out. I've upgraded this thing so its bandwidth is 50,000 and that means it's going to suck the power out of this area over here. Yeah, so you can see we're in the negative. So it's not until we're producing more power that we should really use that. So I'm going to have to limit the amount of energy it's using. But I'm very curious at the moment as to how much it'll be in total when we add the other upgrades. So when we get this farm running at the maximum we're going to do, what will it be like? And this will apply looting to it. So we can't run this for too long. There's looting 2 and looting 3. Excellent. So that would be our fully equipped Woot farm. Let's go to the top, down to the bottom, and check out how much power this thing is using. It's probably going to be ridiculous. Oh, only 9,000. Huh. So I guess it was the rate one that really upped it. I think what I'm going to do is disable 2 of the rate upgrades for now. And that's brought it down to a reasonable 2,200, which I think means we'll just be in the positive with our power generation over on this side. Let's check it out. Yeah, we're in over about 2,000, 3,000. That's pretty cool. That's going to be stable. I got something else to show you. A couple of things actually more to show you. So when we're talking about power, we're going to work our way towards the rainbow generation. And down here I did a little bit of prep on a live stream and actually made all of the different types of generators and then learned about all of the different things we need to put into them. I think there's only like 1 or 2 that are going to be challenging, and most of these other ones we're going to be able to easily rely on. This one over here is the rainbow generator, and we've also included this future block to remind me that I want to do something fancy with the decoration of this room, and this block is obviously perfect for putting into this place. So when it comes to maintaining the items that we want to put into here, we do have massive stockpiles of some of the things that we're going to need, like bones for example, but eventually that will probably run out. And what I don't do anymore is run my mob farm down here because it's a little bit intensive on the server. As you've probably seen before, the mobs get dropped down and it's not as good as doing it with Woot because we're processing entities. Those Endermen got wrecked, I tell ya. So what I'm thinking of doing down in the Woot Room is actually expanding it and having a little corridor through here, and then creating loads of mini like tier 1 Woot farms. And these things won't have all of the options like we have at the top. They'll be for farming the basic mobs like creepers, skeletons and witches and stuff, and then special things like farming sponges could be part of our selection system in this room. That is kind of the plan at the moment, and there's still another thing that I want to show you. I know there's loads of stuff going on here. I don't know where to do this next experiment though. So we're just outside the wastelands. We basically need somewhere flat with lots of grass, and that's a skeleton mob spawner because it's daytime, it's not going to do anything. Now, these are spawn eggs, and in vanilla, if you right click on a mob spawner with a spawn egg, it'll change it to that type. And this is from a different mod, it's from chicken, so I don't know what's going to happen when we click on that. It placed it in front of it. Kind of predictable, right? If you're wondering why the nether quartz chicken, well, it's because we need to automate quartz, and I've had a look for it. There isn't any clever ways of getting quartz. You either quarry it, which we've done in the past, or you use something that's basically giving it to you for free, like the chickens, right? So there's no fun way to automate that, so we'll probably end up doing it a boring way. But anyway, I've got a vanilla spawn egg right here, and when we click on this spawner, it should, in theory, turn it into a wolf spawner. And it kind of looked like it did for a second, and then it went straight back to a skeleton one. So we got a dog here with derpy eyes, but that's still a skeleton spawner. Well, that was unfortunate. Seemed like a bug to me now that I think about it. It changed it, and then it changed it back. I'll ask the FoolCraft devs about that. What do you guys think about it? Leave a comment down below. Let me know your feedback for this episode. I've enjoyed our little adventure and the various bits and bobs we've done around here. I'm loving how the Wastelands Fortress is coming together. But that is going to be it from me at this episode of FoolCraft. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like. As always, thank you so much for your support. And I shall see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.